Hello everyone, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day so far. Welcome to another video. This is a PS Does Book Reviews about this book in particular, William Gibson's Pattern Recognition. This was my travel companion on a couple of weeks ago when I was traveling to Berlin in Germany. It was donated to me by Mantrotonic, a good friend of mine from the demo scene who was donating something for this channel as content creation, which you can also do if you go to my Amazon wishlist. You can donate me some random stuff, including the sequel of this book, which I don't have yet and would very much like to have, because this book was actually pretty good. I was looking actually for a cyberpunk fix, and I did not get my cyberpunk fix. I mostly know William Gibson from his cyberpunk works. I read all of the Sprawl trilogy, Neuromancer, Count Zero, Mona Lisa Overdrive, and also the prequel books that they did with some short stories that somehow led into what became the Sprawl trilogy. I also read those. Also loved it. Then I went through the Bridge trilogy, Virtual Light, Idoru, and All Tomorrow's Parties, which I also loved a lot. So I was, and it was also borderline cyberpunk, and Blue Ant trilogy, which this one is the first book of, does not have any cyberpunk, at least not so far. Has some technology stuff in it, but it's mostly a thriller. Slash detective sort of novel based around the design marketing world, so not at all computer tech like it was on the previous one, or imaginary computer tech, futuristic computer tech as it was on the previous books by William Gibson, which is a bit sad for me because I was hoping for more cyberpunk. I really liked his cyberpunk settings, but it was still a good book. The main character is Casey Pollard, a 32-year-old marketing consultant. She has some things that are believable, some things that are not. Feels like her entire profession would probably not be feasible. Like, she would not be in the real world be able to live out of doing that. But in the fantasy world, it kind of makes sense, and it links with other companies involved, and it makes a believable setting where the action takes place. It takes us to several different cities throughout the world based on the real world that we have. A lot of action happens in London, describing all different routes of London, Soho, a few marketplaces, different things like that, which I assume are based out of real places that the author visited, even if I'm not acquainted with it. There's a short stay in Japan as well, with a lot of picturesque details, and I already had seen Gibson detail a lot of Japan on some of his previous works. I think it was Idoru that was mostly passed in Japan, also Virtual Light. And he has a very interesting view of Japan that feels aligned with the cultural of Japan that I know of. I never visited Japan. I'm very curious to visit Japan one day eventually, but I do like Gibson's description of Japan. Then it's also set in Russia for a little bit, and it also feels a bit fantasy, but somehow based on true things that happened in Russia. So that one felt a bit more unbelievable, but it was still very interesting. All of them have a very distinct, picturesque description of what life is like on those kind of countries, and it connects very well with the story. It doesn't feel like far-fetched, throwing characters into different places. I like the story overall. I tend to like thrillers because I like the detective work, the assuming things and seeing where's the plot twist, and assuming that, okay, it's this character that's doing that, and then trying to figure out how, why. So I like those kind of stories. So I did like this one, despite not being the cyberpunk fix that I was expecting for. So I had a few spy, James Bond sort of moments there, which were also quite interesting from different characters and different viewpoints, but also appealing a little bit to the spy espionage world. Also like the references that they did to old calculators, old computers. That was an interesting point as well, even though it felt a bit like apart from the rest of the story. It brings some character to the story, some uniqueness, some point of reference to the real world, which I think really helps a lot. I'm curious to read Spook Country and Zero History, the two sequels from this Blue Ant trilogy. No clue if it's based on the same character, if it's new characters just around the Blue Ant, which was actually a company in the book. Don't know, but I definitely am curious. I do like William Gibson overall as a writer, so definitely curious to read more of his work. And that's it for this review. I gave it 4 stars, a bit of a weak 4 stars, maybe 3.5 would be more accurate, but leaning towards the 4. I try to give 4 when it's something that I definitely enjoyed reading, and 3 when it's something that was okay read, but not really flabbergasting me. So it was somewhere in the middle between them. And I reserve 5 for something that's like a must read, that I definitely should have read this before in my life, and it's amazing, and I want to reread it at some point. So that's usually my rating around the stars. I'll also put a link to my Goodreads review down if you want to check it there, or follow me on Goodreads. Anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you found it useful. Let me know what you thought about the book. If you have already read it, put it down below. If you like to support me for keep doing this kind of content, please patreon.com/psenough. Whatever you're willing to donate would very much be appreciated. Or you can go to the Amazon wishlist and give me the follow-up to this book in particular, so I can read the sequel. So yeah, would very much appreciate any support. Other than that, see you next video. Have a great day. Bye bye everybody. Take care.